Okay, cool. So welcome to our Body Electric weekly webinar. It is already May 18th, which I can't believe, 2016. And tonight we're gonna hear from one of our Diamond coaches, Abby Ram. She's gonna be talking to us about going for the ask, specifically, how to go about those invitations. I know that that's a common question that we get as coaches, especially from newer coaches. So I'm excited to hand it over to her and let her cover that. For those of you who may have been in our Push to Emerald group last month, she did a phenomenal job of covering this topic, which is what made me reach out and say, hey, we need to hear this in a longer version for the entire team. So before we dive into that, I want to make sure that I address just a few announcements with you guys, just so that you know, because I know that I share those weekly announcements and I hope that you're checking them on Sunday nights. But just in case you're not, or in case you want more details, I want to cover a couple things we have coming up. So the first thing is, of course, this Friday and Saturday, Shauna Potts, Tara Obermeyer, and some of our other teachers on the team are going to be leading what we're calling a teacher sneak peek. I think they're calling it Coaching 101 for teachers. It's a Facebook group, so it's not going to be a live event, but it's a private group where we're inviting teachers or maybe seasonal workers, people who may not work in the summertime, inviting them to attend our sort of sneak peek into coaching. So some of our teachers are going to be sharing through video how they make this business work and kind of what they're doing with the coaching opportunity as teachers with a I won't say flexible schedule because teachers don't have a flexible schedule, but what they're doing with those extra hours. So that's going to be pretty cool. That's happening Friday and Saturday. I highly recommend that you share that. Even if you're not a teacher yourself, it's still worthwhile to, share what we've got going on. You never know who might hop on and who might be intrigued by that. So that's happening Friday and Saturday. And then Monday night of next week is our next live look into coaching Facebook event. So for those of you who have experienced that live event, that's going to be happening on Monday night. And then just a couple more things. I've mentioned to you guys that we're going to be doing our Stronger Together training. That's going to be we're going to start that literally after Memorial Day, May 31st. And it's probably going to run through the duration of the summer. I'm working now on compiling all the information. Basically, I'm taking stuff that I've learned from Marketing Impact Academy with Shalene, some Facebook like page training that I've been going through, a lot of different things that I'm kind of doing right now. I'm merging it into a training for you guys. So here's what I want to tell you, because I'm getting a lot of questions about it. I originally had thought I was going to put this out to just the Diamond coaches on our team, because I knew that the type of training we're going to be giving is higher level, and I knew that it was going to be requiring a little bit of financial investment in the form of those Facebook ads. Facebook ads aren't free. So I'm just telling you right now that we will be talking about how to run Facebook ads, how to grow your reach on your social media. I hope that you think about this business as a business that you invest in order to reap a reward. So I hope that you'd be willing to do that. But if that is a deterrent for you, or if you're just not willing to put in sort of some extra work in addition to your usual power hour, maybe it's not the right time for you. So I want to just tell you that it will be a higher level training for the Stronger Together training coming up May 31st. It will last the duration of the summer. I'm telling you though, based on my experience with these exact same training materials, it will explode your business. It will grow your business. The people that are in my like page training are literally seeing growth on their like pages by sometimes, in some cases, 1,000 likes per week. So people who are doing this and committing to it and investing in it and deciding this is what I want to do. I want to do Beachbody full-time someday, or I want to rock this business. This needs to be an investment for you, not just with time, but also with a little bit of finances. So I wanted to tell you that. Last but not least, I just wanted to share, because I realized I probably haven't communicated this clearly. I have been on like total blog mode, and I don't know if you guys have noticed just from the post in the team page, but I've really been trying to focus on 3 new blog posts per week at minimum. And so I don't always share them in the team page, because I know that it can get really overwhelming if I was just constantly posting links. So I just want you to know that there's always going to be something new. About every other day, there's going to be something new on the blog. And the content that I'm coming up with is either topics that you guys have brought to me, topics that I think should be covered, or topics that my website company has told me that people are searching for on Google. So I feel like the content that's there is extremely valuable for you, because it is what people are searching for. Okay, so the actual wording and everything has been indexed, has been crawled for Google, has been optimized for people because this is proven language that people want. So it's not just what Jenny writes. I write it, I send it to my website company, and then they vet it. So it's literally what people are looking for. So I really want you guys to share it. In the cases where I have to say something, like if I'm chiming in as a personal trainer or if I'm chiming in as a nutritionist, I'm signing those blog posts with my name and my credentials. You guys have seen that where I say Jenny Swisher, whatever, whatever. In the case where I think yesterday I wrote a post with those ice cream recipes, I just said the Body Electric, right? Because it doesn't matter that it was me. It doesn't matter if it has my name on it. I just want to do that for liability purposes. I just want you to know you can still share it. It's not like if someone reaches out to me specifically, the first thing I'm going to do is ask them if they're working with a Body Electric coach or if they were referred by a Body Electric coach. So it hasn't happened yet. I haven't had anybody just out of the woodwork say, hey, I saw this post. But if you're worried, I've got a couple questions from people saying, why should I share this when it has your name on it? Because I'm writing it for you and I'm using my credentials and my knowledge to give you the content to share. So I hope that you'll do that. I hope that you find that valuable. So that's all I wanted to cover. If you guys have any questions about that, we'll save it for the end. But for now, I'm going to hand it over to Abby to talk to us about inviting. So take it away, girl.
All right, I'm going to share my screen with you all. So I think you want to be on speaker view so you can see it the best. Okay, do you see that? Okay, so as Jenny mentioned, this call is focusing on going for the ask, and I'm specifically going to be talking about sharing the coaching opportunity. And this could also be used, these strategies, for invitations challenge groups, but specifically since we tend to struggle the most with going for the ask with inviting coaches, I'm going to focus on sharing the coaching opportunity with others as part of your invitation process. And as we get started, I want you to be thinking about 3 questions and to ask yourself these questions. Where would you be and what would you be doing if your coach hadn't asked you to become a Beachbody coach? How did you feel when your coach asked you to become a Beachbody coach? And then also, what holds you back from sharing this opportunity with other people? And during this call, I am focusing on 3 steps or 3 topics, and those are confidence, following up with existing challengers, and sharing your journey and then observing the responses that you get. I'll also be providing specific examples of language that you can draw from, not necessarily copy and paste, but to draw from to invite people to join your team. And you joined this team because you recognized the value, the purpose, and the benefits of being a Beachbody coach. Because of that, we should be enthusiastically sharing this opportunity. So I've come to realize that the #1 reason that holds us back from sharing the coaching opportunity is a lack of confidence in ourselves and not necessarily the opportunity itself. We may think we aren't ready to lead, we think we aren't the perfect size, or we haven't gotten the results that we want yet, or we don't have any customers. So how could we have a team? But I believe that those are simply self-limiting thoughts that put a ceiling on your purpose and on your potential. And we have to ignore, and even better, silence those self-limiting thoughts and use this opportunity, whether it's a discount or for financial independence, to sort of overcome the self-doubt that we place on ourselves. The first part of being confident is to be confident in your choice of becoming a Beachbody coach. Be confident in our team, because we will not leave you hanging without support or resources to help you as a coach or your challengers. So you're not in this alone. You have the training, you have the team-led groups, you have your upline, and the rest of us on this team that are here to help you through this process. And finally, be confident in providing value. And this goes along with both Beachbody and our products, our programs, Shakeology, and you. You as a coach are valuable, and you offer value that no one else can. People will follow you. So before I move on from confidence, I want to reiterate that to make an impact and an income, you can't put a ceiling on your purpose and your potential. So be confident in this opportunity and in yourself. So I want to also talk about what is a coach, because this is important when you're looking at inviting people to this opportunity. And I think it is so common, I get this a lot from prospective coaches and from new coaches, that we don't want to be salesy, we don't want to be salespeople. And so I want to address that. And my number one response to that, and when I'm talking to coaches on my team about this, is I'm not a salesperson. So I don't know what the concern is there, because I'm pretty confident that I am not a salesperson. So to the newer coaches and the people that are concerned with this on our team now, I want to ask too, do you think your upline is a salesperson? And this gets back to those questions at the beginning. Did you feel like you were being sold something when your upline reached out to you? And I bet that if you thought that, and that was the impression you got, you wouldn't actually be listening to this call and you wouldn't be on our team. So I think it's a common fear, but it's a misconception about this opportunity. And the truth is that as coaches, we are working on our own health and fitness journey while paying forward our success and coaching others through the process. And then sales are simply a byproduct of sharing our journey and inviting others to join us. So that's how I like to word it. And then I also created this graphic, which was based on, I think someone else in Team Sparta had created a graphic that I post on my social media from time to time that kind of bullets out the what is a coach, and you're free to use this language. So all of that is good. We have that kind of precursor, but how do you go about inviting someone to be a coach? And I have these broken into two different categories, and the first is follow-up. So you can start with following up with existing customers in your challenge groups. And for them, the invitation process really begins with just simply checking in with them. So you're going to check in with your challengers. You're going to find out how they're fitting the fitness into their life. You're going to find out how they're enjoying their Shakeology. And I want to mention here that when you do that, always use positive phrasing when you're asking them how things are going. So you're going to start with that. After you discuss sort of those topics, you will then move into the sort of invitation portion. So you want to say something similar to, I'm so glad you're loving Shakeology. I can't imagine my life without it. You'll be set to receive another shipment at the customer price soon. Why don't I get you set up with an upgraded account to receive a 25% discount, in total around $17 each month. And then after you discuss that, from there you want to determine which new challenge pack the customer wants to order so they can enroll as a coach for free with no more money down. And if they aren't interested in a full fitness program, you can encourage Beachbody On Demand or the 3-day refresh. If you need more specifics on that, reach out to your upline coach. But what if you don't have any current challengers? So then you have to identify potential coaches in your network. And this is what I'm calling share and then observe. So again, we are sharing, not selling. Sales are a byproduct of sharing your journey and inviting others to join you. And the first step is, of course, to share. So for new coaches, I want to make sure that you have announced your new status as a Beachbody coach to your network, to your friends and family on your social media. Enthusiastically announcing this new venture that you're undertaking. And then for everyone, all coaches, you should also be sharing your vital behaviors on social media. And I hope you all listened to Monday's National Wake Up Call. And if you haven't, put that on your list to do, because this is where I kind of got this language, because I loved the way Angie, the coach, phrased this. So we all hear to post, 3 to 6 times a day on social media. There are different kind of theories on what those topics should be, but Angie broke it down into the vital behaviors. So your workout, post about your workout. Your shake, post about your Shakeology. Post motivation or inspiration that comes from your personal development. You're going to be posting broad general invitations or call to actions for challenge groups and the coaching opportunity on your social media, on your profiles. And then finally, if appropriate and you have someone, recognize those people. So the vital behaviors. Recognition, the new one, invite, could be proof of the products, and personal development. So those are good topics to be thinking of as you're posting on your social media. And then you need to start paying attention, observing to the reactions you're getting to those posts. Who is liking those posts? So the people that are liking those posts, you're going to reach out to them. And you'll say something like, "Hi Susie, thanks so much for the like on my post announcing my new adventure as a Beachbody coach. I haven't felt this great in a long time. I always enjoy and am inspired by your posts. You would be an incredible Beachbody coach. If I send you a link to our team's live look into coaching event we hosted this week, could you watch the short videos today? I would love to have you by my side as a coach on my team." Or if you're not a new coach and that's not the one you're reacting to, then something more like this. "Thanks for liking the post about my fitness journey. Our next 21-day fix group is starting soon." Then you're going to talk about what the 21-day fix or fitness program has done for you, and then ask, "Would you like to join the next round?" And as that conversation progresses, then you move into going for the ask. Fantastic. I know you're going to love the program and Shakeology. I recommend ordering and enrolling with a coach account. It's free with your challenge pack and ensures you are all set to save about $18 on your new order of on your next order of Shakeology. Sound good? There are no requirements to be a coach, so there's always opportunity, and you can change your mind later with absolutely no penalty. And then there's a second category of prospects with sharing and observing, and this is where you are observing. And this is who is inspiring you. And so you're going to be looking for the people in your network that are maybe already posting about their weight loss journey, about how they are serving healthier foods to their families, or being passionate about going sugar-free or whatever. Just general inspirational posts too. And then what you're going to do is reach out to those people. And here, flattery is your friend. And I don't mean feigned flattery. This should be sincere. You're reaching out to these people because you truly believe they have potential as a Beachbody coach. And so an invitation to this sort of person would look like this. "Hi Susie, I loved your post this morning about moms taking time to take care of themselves. It really struck a nerve with me and inspired me. And I know I can always count on you to share that kind of inspiring information. Have you ever considered something like Beachbody coaching? You are already doing all the things we do as coaches, just without the opportunity to make the extra money." So you're highlighting the behaviors of a coach that this person is already doing, but then planting that seed that they could be doing those exact same things, but making some extra money along the way. So now with all of these invitations, you are going to be needing to provide extra information. You can't just stop it there. Most people are going to ask for more information about what it means to be a coach. So I have two just general examples of what you can do, and that kind of depends on the timing. If you're in the middle of the month and we don't have a live event coming up, or a group like we have right now with these sneak peeks, you can just say, "If I send a link to you with a video to learn more about being a coach and part of my team, could you watch it before and then set a specific time?" So today's Wednesday, you could say Friday, tomorrow, whatever it is. And then they say, "Sure, I could watch it such and such time." Send them the link at our website. It's listed there. And then respond, "Great, I will check back with you," and then give them a specific time. So if they say Friday, you'll say Friday night or Saturday will be your response, and then do it. You set an appointment and it's time to follow up. But because we do have our live look into coaching coming up, I would recommend that you bring that up. Tell them we have a live look into coaching happening Monday night at 9 p.m. right here on Facebook. I'll send you the invite, and you can tune in from your couch to hear more about what it means to be a coach. Can you be on at 9 p.m.? And then depending on what they say, you respond appropriately. Tell them great, that they need to make sure they're clicking going, so they'll get all of the notifications for the group. and then that you'll check in with them after the event. But if they can't be, make sure you let them know that they can still watch them after the fact, and that you can still check in with them after they've had a chance to watch them, and ask them when they can watch the videos. And also encourage your prospects who tune into those live events to ask questions if they want to. It's not necessary, but that's the purpose of the event, so they can ask questions. All right. So I think there's a few keys to these sort of invitations and going for the ask, and that's to keep it positive, simple, and easy breezy. So you want to be positive and upbeat. You don't want to be nervous or timid in your invitations, because that will come across as a lack of confidence in what you're offering and a lack of confidence in what you have signed up to do. You don't want to overcomplicate your invitations. There are a lot of specific details that go along with the coaching opportunity, and you don't want to bog people down and get them confused before they even start with unnecessary information that's not vital to making that decision from the get-go. And then make sure you're not being pressuring, or you're being having a no pressure approach. So we don't want people to feel like they have to sign up, or that you're going to be offended if they don't sign up. So keep it positive, simple, and easy breezy. Now I want to give some specific examples. I gave you specific wording, but these are like real life examples. I have some screenshots to show some examples. And I have this up, examples with follow-ups leading with positives. So these are from 2015, and both of these worked out in my favor. Nicole and Ashley are both coaches on my team, and they were both challengers that I had, and customers that I had like a pretty good history of conversations with. So on the left with Nicole, you'll see that I reached out to her, and we had already talked about coaching in the past, but I had this really simple, straightforward, positive message to her, reminding her that her next Shakeology shipment was coming up soon, and that I asked, had she given coaching some thought? I'd hate for you to pay full price for another bag, which she had already done. And then she said, I will look into it, and I sent her the link. So as you notice, this isn't like perfect based on what we just talked about, but it's got some of the highlights, and so it's a simple approach. Now on the other one, I want to contrast it with the other one and with what I've explained, because while this worked out for me in the end, it's not really the best approach, and that's because I led with a negative. I said, let me know if you need to pause or cancel your Shakeology, and I'll send you instructions, which I know we like to be super helpful people, but I already planted that seed with her, like, oh, it's going to be like, I should just cancel this or pause it, rather than leading with what comes next. I think with your enthusiastic enthusiasm, you would make a great coach, which was so true. If Ashley watches this, she was like an amazing rockstar challenger. I wanted her to be a coach. She is fantastic. I should have led with that, and not with, by the way, do you want to pause? Let me show you how. So I wanted to contrast it with how I should have like deleted that first or second sentence and led with the positives. And here are some examples of sharing and observing. Valerie is a friend of mine. She's also now a coach on the team. We had never talked about the 21-day fix before I sent this very first message that I've posted for you here. So this is an example of going for the ask with someone that you know, that you haven't necessarily discussed it, but she had liked some of my posts. So I reached out to her to ask if she was interested in joining our next group, and then I gave her information about why the group is good, what it's done for me, keeps me focused, and the workouts are doable. So what do you think? And I like using the language, what do you think, as opposed to, would you be interested? I think what do you think directs them to answer, as opposed to, I think would you be interested leaves the door open for them to just not respond, because if they're not interested, then why respond? You know, if they're interested, then they will, but I just think it's weak language and try to avoid using it. So then we had some conversations, and I'll be honest, I didn't go for the ask. And she, there was some time passed before the enrollment, and I was like, you know what, I gotta ask her, suck it up and do it. So I did, and I said, you could sign up with a coach account, save $18 on your second month of Shakeology, And you can treat it like a VIP membership or a way to make some extra money to cover your own costs. It's free in the price to do that, and you can cancel anytime with no penalty. And then we went into some more of the details. And if you'll notice in my last message, I said regular Shakeology as a customer is $141. As a coach with the discount plus the membership cost, which starts the second month, it's around $123. So I know some people get really tied up on over-explaining our coach business fee, which I get because I did the same thing. You want to make sure you're giving people all the information and not hiding anything, right? I think with this approach, you're not hiding anything. You're giving them the real-life view of what the discount is, and you're not telling them it's only going to cost $106 for their Shakeology, which it does before the business fee. You're telling them what the total price per month is going to be, and then you can bring it in like a VIP membership cost or whatever, how I've worded it here. Now this last example is from Katie, and she actually shared this with us today for advice, and I was like, whoa, I'm using that in my call tonight, because it is like textbook how to walk someone through the coach opportunity in an invitation process. And so I want to highlight a few things. And as you can tell, there was like some conversation going on, and Katie says to her, like really explains a challenge group well. And I loved how in that first paragraph, she also mentions you get 30 meals. Shakeology is 30 meals included in the cost of this challenge pack. And then, you know, they discuss some of the personal things going on. And in this discussion, the prospect mentions that she doesn't have a lot of money. So Katie tunes into that and asks her, would you be interested in earning the money back that you put in? Definitely. Of course, we all would, right? So Katie then relates to her, I get money being tight. I'm a Beachbody coach on the side of my day job, so I can improve my health and get paid for it. Do you think you would like to do that too? And then she responds favorably. So Katie explains it a little bit more and specifically tells her, if 3 people join you in doing what you're doing, then it covers your costs. And I don't know if you can see the 4th picture or not with this. I can't because of all the people. There we go. I just had to scoot it over. Never mind. So then, you know, do you know 3 people who would want to get stronger and improve their diet? So then she said she'd think about who. And then with the next final thing, she asked her if she sent her a video, would she watch it? She said she could. And then this is what I love. She relates back to the previous messages, because I read how you say you want to be stronger, you want to learn to eat healthier, and you want to be a better climber, and I know my group could help. Now here's the link. Can I check back with you? And then she said, yeah, I'll watch it. And Katie's like, all right, I'll follow up with you. So awesome, right? Hitting on sort of like the whole realm of invitation here, not just the coach opportunity, but how to form somebody, how to find out what their goals are, and relate what we can provide and what Beachbody programs provide back to those goals. Okay, so back to the questions. There are people out there that we have connections to that need to be healthier. They need extra money to pay off debt, or they want to give their kids dance lessons or put them on the soccer team, whatever it is. And we have an opportunity that can help people to do those things. And remember, this is the second question, how you felt when you were asked to be a Beachbody coach. It felt good. Having that opportunity to help others felt good. And you might get a lot of no's, but there are plenty of people out there like you and like me that want to grab a hold of this opportunity and to spread kind of the wealth of health and fitness to a broader audience. And this is important because it is not up to us to say no for anybody. So I want you to remember, don't limit someone else's opportunity because you are assuming that their answer will be no. Because you never know, it might be yes. So that is all like the main content I have for you. Be sure to reach out to your upline or any of us. You can reach out to me as well with roadblocks, questions, and especially screenshots of conversations that you were having with prospective challengers and prospective coaches. As you saw, Katie, I mean, she's a Diamond coach, and she still sent us screenshots of the conversation she was having, which was amazing, for help. So make sure you're doing that too, because we can all use an extra set of eyes. And then you can also loop in your upline coach to those conversations as well to help facilitate if that's necessary. So I personally have received a lot of rejection in this business. I keep going, I keep inviting because I believe in it, and I hope that you will take the information I've provided, believe in yourself a little bit more, and keep going for no as well. So, any questions?
That was awesome, Abby. I think you covered it all. I hope people will take advantage of your availability to answer questions. So I know we've got 14 or so people on here live. I'm sure we'll have people watching it recorded. So if you guys are on here, take advantage of Abby's time and ask her a question, especially if you feel like inviting or reaching out to people is a weakness for you or is something that you have not done yet if you're a new coach. I'd love for you to ask a question.
I have a question. So, okay, actually I have two questions. One is, how I have a few conversations where it seems like we're in a role, we're having a conversation, and then they just sort of like drop off the face of the earth for like a week and a half. And so then I'll like just send like something like back to them to try to get it restarted. Sometimes it works. What should I be sending back to them? Sometimes I just totally drop what we were talking about. I tried it both ways, where I just pick like, oh, I saw your new puppy, he's so cute. And I send a message like that just to get them talking again. Maybe we can go back to where we were. Or sometimes I just say, hey, have you had a chance to think about what we were last talking about? What do you usually do? Is there like a one way is better than the other?
I always assume that if someone hasn't responded, I'm an optimist. So I will assume first that they have just forgotten, especially if you've asked them to look at something, to read something, or listen. Did I hear you say that? Listen something. I will always assume that someone forgot first, and so I'll send a directed follow-up. Hey, did you have a chance to watch XYZ? And I think I learned this maybe from Katie too. Ask them, what did you like? If you had a chance, what did you like about it? So leading with that positive again. But I will always assume that first they forgot and then do a directed follow-up. And if they still don't respond, try another time. A few days later, but about 3 times is about my limit. And then I will then later continue forming with that person. But I would say about three times of follow-up.
Okay, cool. And then how long does it usually take to have, like, from when you first start messaging someone and building that rapport to, when it usually moves into, like, talking about fitness and Beachbody and the ask?
I don't think there's a rule of thumb. The way I do it is I will have, like, a forming conversation. I'm sure you've all experienced this. They kind of have this, like, normal taper off effect where it's like, do we keep chatting? Do we just like take a break? I usually take the break, and then that's when I go for the ask. Like, I don't go back to forming right away. So like I establish that relationship, let it lie, I guess, live in it, and then go for the ask because now we have that rapport.
Awesome, thank you. And the presentation was fabulously helpful too. So really, particularly like the not limiting someone else's potential because your fear that they'll say no, or you're assuming that they'll say no. Mm-hmm. And that's fabulous. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I want to chime in really quick and just say, Deborah, about your question about, how many times is too many times to follow up or whatever. One thing that I've resorted to, I don't remember who it was that advised this, but this is something that I do. If I don't get a response from somebody after 3 messages or 3 follow-ups, I give them an out. So, I don't necessarily assume they're not interested. I just assume, like Abby said, I take the positive and I assume that just now is not a good time. So a lot of people, I think, just don't want to tell you that. They'd rather just not tell you anything than tell you that. And so I just give them an out. So I'll send a message and just say, hey, it looks like now is not a great time. Is there a good time for me to follow up with you in the future? Or, or something like, keep me in the loop when it comes to your daughter. I love hearing updates or whatever, just kind of give them that out so that they feel like comfortable, right? Because we're not pressuring anybody. We're not convincing anybody. So there shouldn't be any pressure, as far as how they're feeling. So if we give them an out, then they'll come around. And you might remember from, I think it was this year, I did that webinar on my Facebook Messenger conversations that I was having. Some of those conversations were like 1 or 2 years after I had started forming the person. So, I mean, this business is a business that catches up with you. A lot of the effort that you're putting in now, you will reap the reward of in about a year from now. So that's why not many people do it. Not many people stick with it. But if you do stick with it and you just focus on building those relationships, it will come.
I have a question. I met a woman in February who was like, yes, I'm going to buy it. And then, of course, she couldn't because of finances. So I recontacted her the other day by email, just said, I drove past the hospital. I was thinking about you. Hope everything's going well. Just checking, if you're still interested. And she wrote back, yes, but finances again. So I kind of then brought it as what I've just worked with other people. I said, I've had this happen with other people, and I know you're really interested in this because you told me on your mom's deathbed, you promised her that you would get healthy, and she's diabetic. And I didn't want it to be like, your dead mother, is coming back and saying this, but, I just wanted her to remember that she had said that to me. So I said, I've done this with other people and we've made it work. And, how about thinking about what do you spend every day on lunch? And, do you drink coffee every day? And how often do you eat out? And if you look at that budget, maybe you'll see that you're spending a lot more than the Shakeology. And I know you really wanted this. You were so enthused, and, let's make this happen. And she did write back today and said, yeah, that's great. Thanks for telling me that. I'll look into it and try to get back with you. So, I didn't know if that was the right approach, but I, just hopefully it'll make her think about it. Because when people think, oh, $100, $106 a month, that freaks them out. But I thought if she starts realizing that $5 a day at lunch can add up to a lot more, and with her being diabetic, so hopefully I got through to her that way. But, is that a good approach? And then what if she doesn't contact me back? Should I, how do I follow up with her again?
I think that is a way to go about it. I think there's 2 ways. And your way is one, to help people recognize what they're spending, especially people who go to Starbucks every day. And then the other way is the way Katie worded it in the example pictures. And I'm sure we can have this PowerPoint uploaded to the website. But saying, would you like to get that money back by helping people get started doing this as well? Beachbody had this thing a while back where it was like refer 3, get yours free. This is kind of the tagline, because just mathematically that's how it works. If you have 3 people that want to do this with you, then you get your money back, type of thing. So I think either approach, and I would give it because it's kind of open-ended with their time. Like next time, maybe you could say maybe even follow right away and be like, well, when is a good time for me to follow up with you? How long do you think you'll need to take a look? Maybe that's the approach you take. And then set that sort of appointment, maybe even a phone call or a lunch or whatever it is, if she's local to you.
Okay. Yeah, because she loves dancing, so that's why I brought up the size promotion this month and was, hoping that that would interest her. So, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more questions, you guys? We'll take one more question. I know we're running a little over. It's my fault. I talked a lot at the beginning. So if you guys have another question, feel free to chime in now.
I have one.
Go for it.
Since I am a newer coach and I really don't have a team yet, it's hard for me to say like, hey, join to make, like, not necessarily make money because it's about getting health and everything like that. But when people do it for that purpose, I have a hard time. That's where my confidence is lacking because I'm not making big bucks or where I can like stay at home and live off of what I'm making. So that's, how do I maneuver through that a little bit better to make myself still sound confident, but knowing that I'm like still in the process of building and learning. Does that make sense?
Yep. That's where the confidence in our team comes in. I think we're unique in that we have such a good team culture that what's Jenny's is mine, what's mine is yours. It's all of ours. And I fall back on Body Electric when I am talking to people too. We're a top 200 team. We're an elite team. It takes all of us to make that happen. And so it shows the possibilities in this business, even if you are just getting started.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that you just have to see the potential. If you see the potential in the business, it's not like when someone joins your team and you're talking to them about the financial income, I'm pretty sure I was bringing coaches on board as I was making like a $14 check each week or whatever, like you don't have to necessarily have proof. You don't have to necessarily show them that like you're some like multimillionaire growing this thriving team. You just have to have the vision for what you want, right? Like you have to have the vision for what you want. And like Abby said, you've got this team that you're a part of. So while you're growing your team right now, right now is the time when you fall back on your foundation, which is your Body Electric team. So we are an elite team. We are a top team. We do have great resources and great tools. Most coaches that start in this business don't have those resources, and they don't have leadership, and they don't have somebody willing to look at their one-on-one conversations they're having. Like they just don't. So you have to put the faith in our team, and you have to cast the vision for what you want too. It's kind of a simultaneous thing. So I think it's, right now you're early in the business, you're growing, but I know you have big goals. And so it's really like, I don't like the phrase fake it till you make it, but I like the concept of kind of living in the vision that you have for yourself before you kind of reach that vision. You have to really believe it. And that's where that confidence comes in that Abby's talking about. So, okay, you guys, I'm going to wrap it up just because we're, well over our time, but I just so appreciate Abby. I appreciate your time and your effort and your energy for this call. And I think it's great for you guys to hear from people other than me. So fortunately, you don't have to hear from me for the next few weeks. We've got a lot of different guest speakers lined up. Next week, my friend and success partner, Erin Young, is going to be leading our team call. We're going to be doing it on Zoom. I'm not sure what her topic is yet. I'll be talking to her tomorrow in our weekly call, so I'll know more then. But she's a 10-star elite coach, likely going to be a superstar coach this year, rock star here in Central Indiana. So I'm excited for her to offer her resources to us. And then the following week, I want to tell you this now so you can mark your calendar, June 1st, that team call is going to be moved up to 8 p.m. And I realize that that's slightly inconvenient given that it's summertime and it's still light out and everything else. But it was the only time I could get Joe Cardone to speak for us. And he is a corporate representative from Beachbody. He works with 3 to 6 star diamond coaches. I've been working with him now for a couple weeks, maybe a month. And he really, really, really wants to talk to our team. So he's going to be talking to us about kind of leveling up our leadership. But I also wanted to be respectful of the fact that he has a small, young family. And he's actually on mountain time. So the latest he could do was 8 p.m. So I hope you guys will acknowledge that and appreciate that and make that happen at least for that one night. So Erin Young next week, Joe Cardone on June 1st. And I've got some more guest speakers lined up to speak during our Stronger Together training. So with that, thank you, Abby, for everything you've offered us tonight. I'm sure if people have questions, they can reach out to you or post on the team page. This recording will be uploaded tomorrow morning. If you guys have any other questions, just let us know. Have a great night.